Good evening, everyone. It's a bit late with the countdown clock and all, but we don't have any matches for half an hour, so that is basically the reason why. And honestly, we will just have fun with it. We'll have to wait a little bit before we actually... Oh god, you'd be speaking a bit of a dick. But yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit before we get actual tournament matches, and we will start off with streaming Legion, so that's going to be fantastic. We streamed them, I streamed them again last week, sorry, I can't brain anymore. And it was just fantastic. They're lovely to watch. It's nice to see the Legend back in the game, and we're going to be doing the same thing tonight. But because Legion does not have any matches for the first half hour, we are going to be focusing on some replays before then. And like I said, we just have to be a little bit patient. But in the meantime, and I will be repeating this a few times throughout the stream, Wargame is giving me a bit of a budget and to hold a little bit of a competition. And that competition is basically show me your best moments in gravity mode. And the winner of that, the best moment decided by me, gets a tier 8 tech tree preempting tank. So let me just grab the list of that, because Mutsu was actually very kind to give me a list of the tanks that are there. That means you can choose between a T-34, a Super Pershing, a Löwe, a Jagdtiger 8.8, an IS-6 and the FCM. That is basically your choices. They all have their merits and their not so merits. Overall of this list I would definitely prefer the Löwe, but a lot of people might already have that. So basically that is what you need to do. You need to join my Discord in order to submit your results. I have a channel there that is called Gravity Mode Highlights. When you post your replay, be sure to enter the timestamp around which your moment is, because I'm not going to be watching whole replays the whole freaking time. And you have until Monday morning, 8 AM CEST, which is my time zone, to submit those replays. So have fun with it. Maybe win a tank. It should be fun. So we're gonna see how this will go in about half an hour. Like you see, there's no room invite. There's no actual matches happening just yet. So I'm gonna be showing you some replays. And I'm going to be showing you some replays, first off by Legion, because I have a few from members of their clan, and I kind of like showing off replays from the clan that I will be streaming, because it kind of gives them a little bit of a spotlight, and it shows that they're just as OP outside of tournaments as they are inside it. So let's have a look-see there. We will start off by one of my least favorite tanks, to be fair. But I really need to give it a try. It just as an opponent tank, it's not really my thing. Mainly because it's just like, I can shoot this tank in the face and do damage to it. And I've seen people do utterly amazing things in it. But it's just not something that I'm good at. British tanks and I generally don't get along. There's a few exceptions. Tog, of course, and the Chieftain MK6. But this is one of those tanks, I've tried it on the press account and it just doesn't catch my fancy. It's partly just the fact that you need to hash a lot, and basically British tanks are awesome for the hash, but it's not my kind of way to drive it, so I kind of need to get around to that. It is something that definitely the pro players can do very easily and very well. So I feel kind of obligated to eventually learn that. I've always learned things at my own pace. I started with TDs only, then drove a lot of heavies, and lastly started learning fast tanks. And I quite like them now. Fast tanks is basically the only kind of tank that I drive these days. So maybe that hash is the next step. So we see Noob Eater driving away, not necessarily fleeing, but just going for a better position. And that's one of the things. These tanks can definitely hash. They can do a lot with that. But you kind of lack the, let's say, normal premo. And I like shooting premo, because it just gives me an edge. So let's see what's going to happen, where he's going to go. I actually like this camo. I like this camo a lot. I used to buy it on a lot. Wow. Well, he's nice. Well, that's not very nice either, but I do understand. basically when most of the enemy team is there, you can either decide to like get yourself murdered, or you can try and... He's definitely gonna get... Oh, no, he's not gonna get hurt. See, this is what I mean. So many players are so OP in this tank. They could do utterly fantastic things. And just that this tank and I... Well, Hash and I, we don't really get along. 41-8. Oof. That is, let's say, a low roll. Okay, this guy, the T62A, has no idea how Hash works. So that is something to keep in mind with his rage and everything. Oh my god. Them low rolls though. And this is like the downside of Hash and the way it works. And he's actually really careful, and I like that. I mean, the M103 is going to die. But he's sadly ranking up the damage. He just needs to be careful. There's 2 fast tanks coming. He is fully loaded. He takes out 1. No idea where that went. Meanwhile, the Sherry is calling for reports and everything, which is going to be very funny. Because I wouldn't be showing this gameplay if this didn't go like to epic proportions. So, keep your eyes open. Enjoy the show. That definitely hurts. It is a very lightly armored tank in a way. And this is basically what I have against it. Because like I said, I can shoot it in the face when I meet it. And that's why I'm not really good with it. E100 is not going to live for much longer. It might be Kolobanov. Oh, no, it is going to be Kolobanov. Nicely done. Both teams have a base. He's nearly 5k damage into it. And I wonder where it's going to go. Yeah, this is like... This guy is pro. He doesn't understand Hash. He wants base B being capped, even though that's A, close to the enemy, and B, just basically a death trap. So that's not really the way to go. I think the way that he's going about it is quite nicely, but he has to be careful. Because basically the guns that are left against him are quite high caliber and can do a lot of damage. So now base C is being kept. They can't really allow that. He's not driving through the base to avoid getting spotted, and I actually like this. T62A, this guy, I will check his stats afterwards, but I would expect them to be very, very low. This is also nice. After this he only needs to find the E100, who might be on the other side here. Yeah, he is. Oh, it's the mouse. I totally brain derped there. He does not really have time to cap. He doesn't really need to, because he can destroy him, but he needs to be careful not to be shot too much by the mouse. Nearly 900 points in, but the mouse is not looking too healthy. And they're not getting points from this base right now. So he does take a shot, but he can afford to. And there we go. 7.4k damage. This is how OP people can... you should have summoned the worm. That would have been like the perfect ending. But this is how OP people can be in this tank. And how not OP I would be. So 5 kills, 7.4k damage, 1793 base XP. That is definitely the way to do it. Not many supremacy points, mostly, well, only for the kills actually. And like I said, I was going to... Okay, when you're at this point in the game with this many battles and that win rate, which is well above average, you should know how Hash works. Or at the very least how to not be in a place where you will like get epically murdered. This guy, yeah. Basically, there's so many people that are blaming their team for mistakes they've made themselves. Like, they decided to stay there. You saw how the Sheridan was peeking up over the plane and lost a lot of health. Even though there were a lot of enemies coming, he didn't move. He wanted to stay there, even though he was the only one there. There was no teammate there to help him out. And he just stayed there. So this is basically toxicity at its best. Cuss at your team when you make the mistake. But yeah. So that is the first game of the evening. Meanwhile, this is my gorgeous, gorgeous T95 E6. Utterly adore this tank. I need to play it more, but I absolutely adore it. It's kind of like the E5 before they ruined everything about it. So yeah. Also keep in mind there's, to make another shameless plug for competitions, there are more competitions going on. Darren is running a, well basically Martin and Darren are also running a best gravity moment. So if you submit to me, also submit to them. You might win in one place or multiple places at that. You should also check out their channels and my channel for the other competitions video. I have a tier 10 toon damage competition running at the moment and an assisted damage. This is the last weekend you can get matches for that. So check out the video on that. There's also links to Meetsy's and Martin's videos there, and Irma Bax's blog because he's also running a competition. And Meetsy has a supremacy point competition going on, so that's going to be fun as well. So hello everyone that is watching, and like I said, no matches yet. They will start in about 20 minutes, so I still have time to show you one or two replays, and let's show you what happens when Eggy plays. Eggy, one of the team members from Legion, we will see him perform tonight as well. I've known him for a very long time. He used to be in Loka with me, and I think Loka was the first clan he was in. And after that he was in Phoenix with me, and after that he went to Legion. And I eventually went to GNA. So yes, I've known him for a very long time. He was very young when I met him. Now, for obvious reasons, he is older because it's literally been years. And he has always been one of the most OP players in the game. So it's always been a pleasure to play with him and to see him through, to see him play. It's actually like being able to show him off a little bit. Plays are there. I always like it when they... Oof, that did pen. I always like it when the enemy just peeks up and over, just a little bit too much there. But you do have to be careful not to do the same, not to make the same mistake yourself. Nice little bounce there. It's even better when they keep doing the same thing. And there we go. Standard Bina making an appearance. Also going to have trouble with penning him. T22 wants to. There might be a waffle behind there, so they have to be a little bit careful. But there goes T22. And there's the waffle. So they need to be careful. T20, T57 heavy, getting the shots in standard B behind their camping. And basically he needs to take out that standard B to avoid. That works. Grill making an appearance. You can shoot the T57 in the face, but you have to be a little bit lucky that the shot lands where you want it. Standard B is moving into a position where it's actually easier to shoot him. So that's a good thing. A little bit of assisted damage for Eggy. Waffle is still there, and now he's very, very low on HP. Grill has made a change in position. Not sure what this guy is doing. Not sure what that kind of derp shot was. But we don't know where the standard B went at this time. The waffle will have reloaded, so they need to be careful. So he's taking a little bit of a blind shot. That's also a good guess. And there's the standard B. Ooh, that missed. And now he's waiting, so he has to be careful. He can use the corpse, and he can shoot the standard B in the face. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, he has to be careful with the waffle there. There's an E6. Lovely, lovely tank. He can't really shoot him right now. Not at this, there, but... Oof, that missed. There you go. Jaeger's not going to survive this. Waffle just shot. So if he just pulls back a little bit... No, he's actually dropping down, so... No damage there for Eggy. Ooh, that 2 HP. Thing is, you see that the damage counter is actually a lot higher, and that has to do with the blind shots that he took. Because the ribbon counts everything, and the thing that you see with the 5354 is the actual spotted damage, so to speak, with the tanks that were visible and everything. So now he's being very careful, which is good. He knows that he's there somewhere, but he can't really afford to get shot. So let's see. Where did the guy go? This is actually a really good position to be in. He just has to be careful and stay in the same spot. But where did the guy go? They're all not looking too healthy. And this is also something. He's not spotted at this moment. But wiggling back and forth makes it really hard for people to aim at you. And since you are notified like a few seconds after you've been spotted, that you have been spotted, it is something to always be careful about. Now the grill is moving, and there he is. And there goes the grill. Oof, that missed. Standard B, don't YOLO. At this stage, they need you alive. He's not looking at Aggie. But Aggie does have to be careful. Especially since the E6 is in a pretty good position there as well. Especially versus 2 one-shots. And he kind of has to move, but he can't really do that safely. Actually, guys, post my Discord link, please. There you go. Oh, that was lucky. Oh. Well done, Aggie. Nice. A little bit of luck, but that went very well. But yeah, since the gravity mode competition will be on my Discord, it's useful to post that link. And just so you're aware, I give all the rules on my Discord manually to make sure that you're not a troll and that you're human. So if you join, please be patient. I will give you rules after the stream. So with 6,901 damage and 3 kills, 1,637 base XP, Aggie led the way to victory, with a little bit of help. To be fair, the grill did a good job. I liked that the grill actually moved. He went forwards and he took risks and everything. And even though he did die for it, he was pretty vital to this team and the battle. A little bit of assisted damage as well, some bounces. So yeah, that was definitely a lovely battle. In the meantime, I'm getting some pings on Discord. Those, again, I will only check that kind of stuff after the stream is over. So for now, just be patient. I'll get back to you when I get back to you. Let's see. It's 2018. We still have 40 minutes. That means that I can show you at least one more replay. Let's see, what do I want to show you? I'm actually going to show you a replay in the waffle. That name though from his teammate, that is like just no. But Dan Maximov is a pretty OP player. And we'll see how it goes. Hello everyone that is watching. And I always wonder when I get TD replays whether I'm just actually going to see some exciting replays or whether someone's just going to camp the whole battle. And I'm avidly against camping in any and every way. I understand a little bit as like a startup position, like where he's going right now. Ooh, that's not hopeful. He's actually spotted someone here then. Let's see if he can get a shot in. He can. And then he does get spotted, so he has to be careful, especially on this ridge. But pretty much the whole enemy team seems to be on the other side. So they kind of have to move. Ooh, he can get that shot in too. There you go. And this is the thing. You can now... Oof. God, he's lost a lot of HP very fast. He has shots at this stage, so I'm not against... Oof. I'm not against him staying at the same spot right now. At the same time, with his enemy team so spread out, he's losing enemies left and right, and he's not in a position to, like, properly be a threat. There you go. And you hear more guns going off. But they kind of have to be careful because A, these are people you know, so you know they're gonna have a clue. Aim for the convoy at the back. Oh no, the convoy is like way at the back. He's crossing over at the rear. But now he doesn't have any shots. And at the same time, he can't really move either because you have the issue of basically if you move now, you're going to sort of like lose your life. Because he needs to stay in this position now to help his team. E1 is appearing. E1's gonna make a kill. E1 is gonna be dead. That's definitely helpful. But we have the convoy over there, and they kind of need to just keep everyone alive somehow. There's a hash tank over there. So that is always a tricky thing. We have the convoy down below. And he's getting shot from behind. He kind of oof, that is a nice shot. He has to move from where he is. At the same time, he can't really afford to go anywhere. So every shot is a waffle. So every shot that hits him will hurt. There you go. That's one gun out of the way. We still have the convoy there. This guy is extra special. That is a very nice shot. Well done. Now he just needs to be careful with the T-57 Heavy. Because he can clip him. That bounced though. So this is like... There you go. E100 doing as he should. And there we go. 4 kills, 6.2... Well... More than that, because this was again a blind shot damage is added to it. So let's see, 6.8k damage. He does get a camp and medal for his efforts, but in this case I agree that he kind of had no choice but to stay in that position. He also gets a nice Halonen medal, which is a good thing because that it means that you pretty much you did good. 1641 basic speed, so that's very nice. 12 shots, 12 shots in. No thingies bounces, but that's actually to do with where the shot hit because it hit his gun. So that was a lovely little game. Room invite is going to be up in less than one game, so I'm not going to be able to show you another replay before then. So we'll just have to basically just content with chatting a little bit and looking at my pretty tank. So like I said, multiple competitions going on. I'm going to go back to that then, just to repeat myself and to give you a chance to win stuff. Nothing too complicated. Basically, in gravity mode, tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday. Do your best, get some epic moments. Submit your epic moments to either my Discord server or I'm not sure how Darren and Meaty69 and Martin Dogger want their replays, but basically they're running a similar competition with different prizes. I give away a tier 8 Tech 3 Prem Tank, they give away a tier 6 Prem Tank and some premium days. So overall, that's some competitions going on for the gravity mode thing. At the same time, there's a supremacy competition going on with Darren, Meaty69. Martin Dogger is running something about getting the highest XP, I think it is, in specific tanks. So that's something worth checking out. And for me, I have a tier 10 toon damage competition going on, where you basically the highest toon damage wins a tier 8 Tech 3 Prem Tank. And second prize wins, I think it's 2 weeks of Prem each. And I have an assisted damage competition going on in any tier you want. And basically you need to submit your results to email there. But that's all in the competition video. That's on my channel. So yes, that is basically what we've got running at the moment. Lots of things to win, and I have my disagreements with Wargaming, and I disagree with a lot of what they do and how they do it. But I do like that they've given us lots of free stuff during this whole pandemic happening and everyone having to stay at home. Everyone got Prem days. We got this event that is really weird, but it gives you some free stuff. We got these competitions as CCs to run for you guys to basically give you something to do in the game. And we got the gravity mode, of course, which wasn't really planned for the pandemic, but is now like in currently for everyone in about the lockdown period. So all of that, I actually like that they're doing it. So that's something that I have to admit I'm grateful to Wargaming for that part. I still hope they're going to remove the missiles and all of that, but that part I can't really fault them for, as in the competition part and all of it. They really want to help people stay occupied, give them something to do and everything. But yeah, the time frame for the gravity mode competition is very small. That is why I set the deadline to 8 AM on Monday morning, CEST, my time zone. And that has a lot to do with the fact that they want the video on Monday. So after you submit the replays, I have to look at them, I have to make a video out of it, and then I have to basically upload it and give it to Wargaming. So, like I said, join the Discord server. Please be aware that I give all my rules manually, and that means you have to wait until after the stream, which is probably in about 2 hours, I think, before you get a rule, but then you can submit stuff. So in the meantime, I hope we will have fun. The room invite should be up in, I can't rain any minute now actually. And then we will finally get to see some tournament matches, and we get to see Legion. Let's actually see who they are up against. Because we are in luck, they are in the very first group, which makes it a lot easier. And they're up against a 3FA. Let's see what they are like. It would help if it loads. That is a very... Ooh, there's a tournament room. And immediately players on both sides are there. 3FA did just win, so we know that they're going to be there. And that's actually going to be nice. They're not the... Last week we had a team that started at like a 47 average win rate, and they were up against Legion straight off, and I felt really sorry for them. This does look better. So yes, Legion steadily coming in. We are going to start on New Bay. Let me just grab that map for you quickly. We have not seen it all that much. This is New Bay. You have 3 bases. Base C, closest to the red spawn. Well, yeah, we are starting, I think, in the upper spawn, so the green spawn. Base B, closest to that. Base A, below the whole freeway, railway kind of thing. I kind of like this map, but it is so small. Technically speaking, all the maps are supposed to be the same size, but this map just feels tiny. And I'm not that big a fan of it because of that. At the same time, I like the fact that you have different kind of heights. Like with Faust, you have sort of like the bridges and tunnels. It's not really that, but that's the easiest way to describe it. And you have the ramps and all of that, and that can make for some fun gameplay. It can also make it very frustrating because there's a lot of lines of fire into basically everything. So that is the map we're going to start off on. I'm just making sure that it is no longer on your screen. And we have just over 3 minutes left to go before we actually go into the battle. And I see that a very old friend has arrived in the chat. Hello, Akira. Vilvio is one of the people that I've known since pretty much the beginning of the game. And he's one of the nicest people I've ever met through the game. So definitely hi to him. Glad to see you. Hope you're all right. And for everyone, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and staying at home. If not necessarily to protect yourself because you're young and fit and healthy, then to protect those around you, your parents, your grandparents, your friends and their parents and grandparents, and so on and so forth. There's this really nice little, well, nice, I wouldn't say it, but like this little gif where you have like, you see patient 0 and he comes in contact with X amount of people who come in contact with X amount of people, and you see it spread so fast. And then they show you what happens when you take some of those people out, like they didn't go to that party or they stayed at home or stuff like that. And it shows how much of an impact it has if you stay home. So I hope you're all staying home. I hope you're all staying healthy. And yeah, basically we just have to sit it out, wait it out. In the Netherlands, I'm happy to say that the curve is definitely flattening and overall it's going quite nicely. Still there's lots of people dying, so that's of course horrible and really sad. But I love how my government is handling this, and I love how the people are actually listening and letting them, basically giving people some of their own responsibility, and that the curve has flattened as much as it has already. So that is hopeful that we will make it through this crisis relatively alright, even though we will still lose a lot of lives. But that goes for pretty much every country. So with less than a minute left to go, let's actually focus on the match that we're gonna have. And we see that 3FA is taking a 268, 2 T57 heavies, a Yege, an IS-4, a Sherry and an IS-7. And they're going to go to up against an FT. I don't see that much in the T10 battles. It is a lovely little assault tank though. It's one of the tanks that I actually kind of want to grind. And a 268, a T57 heavy, a Sherry, an IS-4, a T22 medium and an Object 140. So pretty much a lot of mobility. The slowest tank there is the IS-4 because even the TDs are pretty mobile with this lineup. So that's going to be, we're just going to be enjoying it. Let's see, countdown clock has begun. There is, sorry, just a bit of an issue throat, nothing worse, just have a little bit of a cold, that's all. And here we go into the first battle of the evening. Let's see what is going to happen. Lots of different avatars. And we will see what is going to happen here on this very, very small map with the giant pink donut. And there's my pretty tank. Yes, exactly. I wonder if you can actually destroy it. I need to try that. I haven't actually tried. Yes, like, absolutely. And let's go up in the way and see what they're going to do. They are shooting the donuts. Oh my god. This is like the best seriously ever. The way to start a battle. You see in the meantime that 3FA is actually capping a base. And now Angie and Dakudas are heading towards base B, not actually at base B, but sort of taking positions around. Base C has been capped, people have been spotted, we see the first sort of damage happening. Ventium at the top here, looking over people. I'm getting stuck against the building. That's not very useful. It would be lovely to be able to fly through buildings. Eggy having been spotted. Dakuda's in a pretty forward position, but getting away with it. Base speed not having been spotted yet either, because of the epic donut action. But we see that Whoops is actually perhaps going there, not entirely certain. Yes, they are capping a base. Eggy pursuing them. We have lots of players here. So with everyone rushing in there, this is probably where we're going to see some action. So let's see if I can get you a proper angle, which is hard with these buildings. We have Silent Ali. Eggy at the back there. Ali peeking up and over. Base A now being kept. But so far little damage has been done. And we see immediately some big damage going in. But Eggy gets some damage back. That shot misses though. And that's the first one gone. Now, Whoops and Firstborn are being rushed. We have a Jaeger arriving. That's gonna hurt a lot. There you go. Big hit, big damage into Whoops there. But overall, they are driving a little bit against each other. The T-50 heavies are being taken out. Whoops is still alive. He's no longer alive now, but it's taking a heck lot of health and tanks basically from 3FA. Firstborn still alive. And now there's only 2 tanks left already. And we are focusing on Aidaira. Probably pronouncing that all wrong. But he's being focused and Sally being taken out. And the donut still lives. I just feel like I have to point that out. Firstborn still alive. Not getting hit by that shot. And Relax Legend is about to relax eternally. Dakudas. And they're driving off to pay homage to the donut while we see him. Okay then. So that is like the most troll way I've ever seen a victory happen. Especially with the missile. Oh my god. I kind of feel for 3FA because they're not being taken seriously at all. Yeah. That's... Okay, that's gonna be right up there with the highlights of this whole tournament thing, I think. Because it can't get much more troll than that. So we see that 3FA has now readied up in a 268, a 121, a Jaeger, an IS-4, a T-57 Heavy, a Sherry and an IS-7, and perhaps the Jaeger is being changed, we're not entirely certain. No, the Jaeger is becoming a Hori, and they're going to go up against a 268, a 113, a 5A, a 263, an IS-7, an AMX-50B, and... Let's see, is Dakuda's going to take the vegan? No, he's going to take an E100. 5A, one of the very few tanks that I do not have that I really, really want to have. Absolutely adore that tank. It is a tricky little thing to drive. We see in the meantime that the other side has changed some tanks. I have a feeling it's not going to be making all that much difference. But yeah. 5A, definitely the tank that I want to get. It's not necessarily the best tank, but it just fits my playstyle. It's a Heavium. And that's my kind of tank, so I really, really want that. And I hope it will come for sale soon and that I can actually buy it. Oh my god, that game though. And here we go, countdown clock has begun. There's nothing on the screen for you guys except for the game. I am rated up, so we're not gonna miss out on it. And I'm kind of worried about what we're gonna see now. So let's see the second match of New Bay. But now we start on the non-donut side, and I think Legion is gonna be sad. donut. So let's see what they're gonna do this time. And how serious this game is gonna be taken. And judging by that, it's not gonna be very serious. So we have Legion going towards base C it is. And we see someone from 3FA potentially going to base A. Or, yeah, no, he's actually on top on the tracks and everything. And Legion is not bothering to take, well, they are taking the base, but most of them are pushing through. Oof. And this time 3FA is a lot more prepared. They're moving in. We see MV taking some damage. Silent Alley taking damage. We have Whoopsie and the AMX arriving. And we see some big hits going in, and they are just rushing in. They want their donut back. Don Vano not looking all too healthy. Basically, he's lost quite a bit of HP here. But HP-wise is not really... You just look at the HP disappear. But that poor OS7 is not going to survive. Object 3 is likely going to die as well. But he's actually seeking cover from Dakudas. And getting it. They've taken the base literally right in the face. But Object 3 still dies. And there we go. We have some light tanks behind there. Relax Legend is here. The Hori has been taken out. They are steadily pushing for the donut. But they're not looking too healthy. They are losing quite a bit of tanks here. So we have... Basically, they need to take out the 268. But Ventium not looking too healthy. Don Vano not looking too healthy either. And now, oof. Ventium is taken out. It is 3 versus 3 now. And Don Vano kind of... He was need to be careful, but he's gone now. And now it's Dakudas and Eggy versus Relax Legend is here, who is almost gone. Big hit there into Dakudas. And we have Silent Alley here. His shot's being potentially blocked. No, he's not. Dakudas needs to be careful, because Tekken might actually lose this at this stage. The Sherry going to get a big hit into Eggy there. But at the same time, at least he's not being able to shoot Dakudas. Dakudas just has to be careful here. But he takes him out. And now it's 2 versus 1. Both are not looking too healthy. And the Chevron is of course a lot faster. But Legion has the base. And Dakudas is pre-aiming. Getting ready to take that shot. But Amanos is actually... I think there was a shot at the donut. Taking a blind shot there, but he's not there. And Amanos could potentially miss all this. He just has to be very careful. And he has to spot them first. So I'm actually going to take you through the buildings here. But basically Legion has the luxury of being able to wait. Eggy has been spotted. And Amanos is turning around. But this means that Eggy knows that he's here somewhere. Just not exactly where. Amanos running off. And Dakudas is going to be scouting. And he's going to straight on there. There you go. Now he's been spotted, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get out, because I have a feeling that Eggy might just drop down. No, he's not doing that. And he's going... Let's see if we can actually see this. There we go. We missed the explosion because I had dodgy camera work. But Dakudas takes him out, and Legion takes home the first victory of the matchup. And you can see how much that donut was worth to them. Lovely damage though, both by Dakudas and Eggy. 5A performing as I love it. And like I said, it's not really the most tournament kind of tank, but it's just a lovely tank. Overall though, damage wise, they actually did more damage. 3FA. But they didn't get enough kills. And it's Legion that is taking this matchup home. So that is the first matchup of the evening. But seriously, in the meantime, Legion is arriving in the chat as well. talking about the donut. So that is the first one. Let's see how it will go, if we know if they have an enemy yet. Yes, they're up against Kraken S in about 20 minutes. So I'm actually going to get Blitz Assistant out because I can actually see the brackets there. So we have Legion versus Kraken and K4A versus LGR. So after this we have, this is like the semi-finals, then we get either finals or the battle for third place, but yeah. No is on my hit list for getting 5A. But yeah, that is the first group. Let's see how the other groups are doing. No surprises here. Basically, Appa is not. They're not necessarily out. Some of them might still be battling. I'm actually just going to look at the brackets because that is easier. Most matches are still happening, so we don't know their result yet, and it only like updates in a while. EG is of course through, LM is WW and Demo in group 3. This is stuff I can't really show you because basically Blitz Assistant, yeah, it's only on my phone. And we have MOR and FBI through. Vil is still battling, and Final and Pan are still battling as well. But basically everyone that has made it to the next stage now, like Legion has now, has a ticket and will be able to participate on Saturday. The German Legion is through together with O3, Souls and Toxic. TXC at least. And then we have APA, W1B, BHPP and another team of IMO. And let's see, Raid 7CD win, and it's going to be either Zenith or TTT. And let's see the last group. Loka and Mates are through, W1B another team, and they're either going to be up against ANNHM or TRA. In the meantime, I see Bogey asking how does she spectate this and why is it already happening? Doesn't it happen in like 6 hours? For the EU server it does. I spectate from a press account and I spectate from PC, so I actually have like the free camera mode. So let's see some replays. And I have another one from Legion. Just not one of the team members, but a Legion member. Oh no! First one. Oh no, I think I actually... I showed this one last week. I'm just gonna roll with it because it's actually a really epic game. It's like, I have this issue with, I get a lot of replays and I try to show the replays with the clan tag and I try to move them afterwards, but my memory is like absolute shite. So that doesn't always go well. So we're gonna see this, but this is actually a game definitely worth watching. And if you've seen it before, well, you just have to gonna see it again because it is epic enough to see twice. Most of the this case I can actually focus on some other things as well and point them out to you because, yeah, like I said, it's worth it. So the enemy is over there, and they spotted most of them, but they can't really do much. There's no enemies to shoot where they are. And there you go, pre-aimed and everything. They kind of have to be careful of the Hori at the back. All the Japanese CDs are called Horis. Well, almost all. So now we see Ollie taking aim through the train tracks. This is generally a really good move to do. Only in this case he only tracks the guy and does no damage. And they kind of have to be careful because they're in a bit of a precarious position. And that shot did not pen, it hit a train. That is the tricky part of shooting through things. chance of actually hitting what you want to hit is relatively small. In the meantime, we see Firstborn, because this is something. Look at the minimap. Firstborn is running around the back. Wanted to get behind him and do some damage from there. He is in the gap between two buildings at the back there. And this is basically why I love this game so much, because Firstborn unfortunately does not have the replay anymore, so I can't show you that part of it, but it's really epic. I love games like this, and I would love to show you both sides of this because it's worth it. But basically what happens here is that Ollie is sort of like the focal point, the focus point I should say, for the enemy team, whereas Firstborn is up behind them to murder them all. Now we have the STI here, and Leo 1 is of course very juicy, so that he kind of has to be careful, and he's losing quite a bit of HP. But now there's 2 guns to shoot the STI, and like most players, he starts focusing on multiple enemies. And that is something that basically means that you're not aiming for actually anyone. But we are currently now in a 5 versus 2 situation. They're in not too bad a position, but they have to be careful. And basically have to make every shot count. So again, Ollie is the focal point here. We know that there's another gun there, so 3 of the 5 are looking straight at them, basically. Firstborn is flanking all the way around to the back. Look at him, he's now behind Ollie. And he's going through the train tracks. That is a barely aimed shot. A little bit of luck with getting that in. But now they've spotted the spaghetti. And that means, like, again, with the STI, he does the same thing. It means he's focusing on multiple tanks at once. And thus not actually penning anything. So you have the E50M that is firing a blind shot. That shot missed because he's driving up the building. Firstborn is still at the back there. And we have a guy in the middle that really needs taken out. Because this is kind of the issue that you face. You have to avoid getting shot from multiple places at once. So you have the E50M there. Firstborn is now relocating again. To either take care of the guy in the middle. The FV that is now arriving. And he bounces on the bomb, you saw that. But the FV goes flying and flies straight into the shot. But this exactly, just the way that Firstborn keeps relocating. It is so absolutely vital. And he's still alive at this point, has around 700 HP left. The Hori there is careful enough to use the building, making it hard for Ollie to get him, but he does in the end. So with 5k damage into it, this has been epic, just replay the way that they've positioned themselves. Not Ollie takes a shot, at this stage he doesn't really care. And he basically, Firstborn needs to get another shot in, because look at the kills that Ollie has. He has 6 kills at this stage. And before Firstborn can die, he's still alive. He takes the shot before, so that Ollie could get the kill. So that Ollie can take home the game and the harass that comes along with it. This is seriously one of the best games I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because I know Ollie and I've been streaming Firstborn and everything. I'm saying that because of the way that the game is basically layered. You have Ollie basically being the focal point. He doesn't move all that much in the game, just slightly into different positions to keep himself safe. But the way that Firstborn uses him as sort of bait, as sort of like the focus point for the enemy, while he runs around, gets shot in sides and flank, occupies them a little while he stays safe so that Ollie can get shots in. That is brilliant teamwork. So yeah, that's something. Even though I showed you this before, it's definitely worth showing again, and I hope you enjoyed it watching it. This is like, I will keep being amazed at this, at just games like that. So if you ever have a game like that, definitely submit it, because I love the way, and would preferably have both replays than mind. Because it makes for epic videos, because you can show how people literally work together to get epic results. So that is one replay over. I think we start at 4-0 past. 0-4 past. Let's have a quick look. No, I actually need to get the shot because it's easier. Yes, that means that I can show you one more replay. Let's see what I have for you. Let's see. Oh, I'm actually gonna go for this one. It's a tank that I've not driven in a while. It was my second tier 9 ever. And it's a tank I kind of need to give another shot. I've kind of grown out of the TDs. Enjoy them a lot less. Because for some reason it's a little bit, well, I wouldn't say boring to drive them, but in a way it is. I like tanks with the turrets that can like use ridge lines and everything, so that's why I'm much more of a fan of the spaghetti and of tanks like the STB and, well, basically the 5A and the E5-ish and this E6 of course, because it just makes for a lovely gameplay, and I feel that it's more engaging to drive those than to drive a TD. Some exceptions there, of course. Turret TDs can do a lot more. And this could be an epic shot if he aims it properly. Just has to be a little bit... There you go. He's not spotted for his troubles, but he has to be careful with that mouse there. And maybe he can get some nice shot. And we have a VK and a mouse, so there's a fill tune. That only tracks him, so that is not really useful. Still not spotted. And you heard a shot whiz by. It didn't pan though. Lots of tanks out there. And we go for the lightly armored one, which is then a good idea. He's now activating his adrenaline, which is also a good call. With the VK looking that way, it makes it all the easier to shoot him. And now a lot of tanks have been unspotted. There we go. We have a few more. And let's see if he can actually make this shot. No, he can't. That killed him though. Nice one. He's still not spotted. He is pulling back to avoid getting the blind shots into him. I love the position of the IS-7 next to this guy. That's like, I'm not sure if you saw that, but he was like up against the building being utterly epic. And I mean that in my best possible sarcasm. I think the 5A will not really make an appearance in any proper matches. Yeah, the IS-8 is being careful enough. He knows where you can get shot from. But now he's actually taking the chance and getting massively hit straight off. These are more like the boring games, where not much is happening. And it's actually the team that's doing more than the guy that we are actually following. Standard B at the back. There you go. 62 HP kill steal. I do hope this is an ace though. I mean, he's done 3k damage. Some blind shots, so you don't really see that. So either this tank is not getting a lot of love. There you go. Leo has been spotted. And they also have a field tune here. And now he has been spotted as well. The East is not going to survive this. He's lucky to have lived this long. Oh, that works. Nearly 1k damage in one shot. So let's see. We're nearly 4k damage into it. And there's the mouse with his back towards him. That's always juicy. And he activates his adrenaline again. Again, this is a good call because at this stage you know you're gonna win anyway, but you can basically just soak up the damage that you can in big hits. So it's worth the effort. And he doesn't actually need to pull back because this mouse is not focused on him at all. He's the only gun behind him, and even though he does the biggest booms, he is also not the primary target at this stage. So the mouse will probably die now. No, he still bounces that. I wonder if he's gonna get the kill. No, he does not. And here we go. Let's see. 5.7k damage. Definitely a camper medal because, well, he was camping for most of the game. These are going to get gameplays that I find... Well, to be fair, I find them relatively boring to watch. Because not much is happening. and you can do so much better with this tank when you play it more actively, because it is mobile, it has straw armor, and yes, you are bottom tier basically. So yeah, well, not bottom tier because field tunes, but yeah, you are basically bottom tier, so you have to be careful. But at the same time, you can do so much more than sit in one space, and that goes for literally every TD. They either have the mobility, they have the true armor, or they're basically heavies without turrets like the Jaeger. And I always pity it when pity people that are basically just camping in them. And yes, I get that you might do that as a starter, but yeah, it's not my kind of my way to play the TDs. And I think, yeah, I would like to see more active TD gameplay. And in this case, it was more his team doing the work and him just getting some shots in than him doing the work. This was a damage ace rather than an action ace. And action aces are, to be fair, so much more fun to see. So, let's see. Everyone is getting into the room slowly but steadily. We're going to the Panda map. And we just have over 4 minutes left to go before we actually go into a match. Egging the 5A again. I'm pretty sure that that's not what's going to be driven now. Dynasty's Pro, a map that allows for super heavies to be used, and as you can see, Kraken is making full use of that, with potentially using 2 Jaegers, 2 Mice, and 2 215Bs and an IS-4. So that's a slight mobile lineup with the IS-4 and the 215Bs, but even so, they are heavy, so they will be like holding all over the place. And they will have a ton of HP with this, because with the HP buffs you see like a difference in HP. Like you saw last game that 3FA actually did more damage than Legion but still lost. And that has to do with Legion having more HP, more heavy tanks with the HP buff, and it does make a difference that way. And the Jaegers, of course, can pack a wallop. They don't have the turrets, but with the Mice together it can be a very deadly combination. And they can potentially side scrape off each other. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with that lineup. And especially I'm interested to see... wow. Someone just said, there were pings in 2 games in Is Our Players. It's not funny. We beat Legion Clan over and over. By the way, we are all PC players. Yeah, this is a touch tournament. So that is not Legion's problem, basically. 2.5 minutes left to go before we go into the game. And to be fair, the ode to the donut was definitely funny. If not necessarily the way that they didn't take you seriously. I'm just typing a quick message. Only because I'm streaming, everything is behaving slowly. But yeah, that kind of explains the incoherence that happened, because if you are a PC player and you're suddenly playing with touch controls, it generally doesn't go well. So just under 2 minutes left to go, and Legion is, well, NG might be changing some camo or loadout or whatever. But yeah, Kraken is ready completely, and there we go. Legion is ready too, with 2 IS-4s, 2 113s, 2 Mice, and a Sherry. I'm curious to see how the Jaegers and the Mice will act, if they will act together or if they will act separately, because if they act together it can make a massive difference. But it will all depend on positioning and not letting people get behind them, basically. So it could work out really well, could work out really bad, and we're about to see. But yeah, exactly. You can have your opinion, you're free to share it, you're free to share your frustrations, but please keep it polite. So less than a minute left to go before we go into the second, well, technically it's the third matchup for tonight, but the second that we actually get to see. The teams that have made it this far do have a ticket for Saturday, so they will be there. BPS has made an appearance. Lovely clan that. So, half a minute left. Let's see how we are doing. Stream looks healthy. Not all that much happening right now. 19 seconds before going into the match. And like I said, I'm really curious to see with that massive heavy lineup from Kraken S how that will go. Because yes, the map is small and there's a lot of buildings. But it can potentially work out very much against you when you use a lineup like this. At the same time, it is not a ticketed tournament. The cups that you can get here are pretty much limited. And I don't think the teams are taking it all that seriously yet. So let's see how this will go. First one is just offering the guy a donut. So here we go. Let's see what is going to happen. We have Dakidus in the Sheridan heading off quickly. Potentially going to take that base. I think he might just risk going in straight off. No, he is going for spots. But there's no one there. He can safely cap it, and I think they kind of need to get that point advantage. They are unlikely to get base B. They are unlikely to get base A. Kraken S is all over base A. And Legion is going to take their position around base B and C. Base A now being capped, but Legion will have a point advantage for having capped a lot earlier. The mice arriving in the middle. Useless Kraken at the back of the stairs. We see some shots happening, but not much yet. No damage. Oh, Useless did lose a bit of HP there. That's the downside of having such tall and big tanks. You're also big targets, even if you're heavily armored. Angie and Eggy holding in the mice. Not looking to... Whoopsie, being missed there. Basically, there's almost a tank between them, so Legion doesn't really have to do anything. They just need to hold. And you see the positions that they've taken. They're all holding. And basically, Angie is a bit of a risk here. They kind of need to occupy Kraken, so that he can pull back safely, and he is getting away with it. So now there we go. We have Useless at the back of the corner there. He is now spotted. And we see Eggy responding. Both of them are now looking in a different alleyway, and that's generally a good thing. A little bit of shots being taken by Kraken there. But not all that much. HP wise, Legion has a 2k advantage. And that's steadily getting bigger as Kraken takes more damage. Not really much I can show you, but the crossfire shots from both the guys at the back there and the IS forwards at the front. And now the mice are being rushed, but they are paying for it very dearly. Useless taking more damage. And this is the thing. Kraken is pushing in, but they're losing so much HP for it. Whoops making a move into it. We see Useless now getting less and less healthy. Adamantly taking more hits. Base B has been kept. Dakidus is being yay-gayed. Pretty much too much is going on. Adamantly does get away with it. Whoops is steadily being murdered, with tanks appearing left and right. But it is actually Obsidian Fury that dies first, Adamantly shortly after. Whoops is not going to survive this. But at this stage, with 2 bases, we are at 800 points. Kraken has 3 guns left versus 6 guns from Legion. And Don Vano is using Angie as a cover. He might get a shot in, but it doesn't really matter at this stage because he's definitely going to survive. Unless very strange things happen. Object 3 is going to hunt down Useless. No, Don Vano might actually not make it. No, he does. And we hit 1k points. Object 3 not having reloaded in time. Dakidus not taking the shot. And Useless survives. But this is basically too many big tanks too many slow tanks. And even if you have the guns, if you can't manage to use them, which in this case I'm not like saying Kraken played badly, but it's because the weakness of the tank. If you miss your shot, you're out of the game for a lot longer seconds than when you have a sort of like DPM gun, so to speak. So that is definitely a very, very a very good thing, because that is the difference between the lineup from Legion and the lineup from Kraken. Too many big tanks, because you saw they got hit so hard for just driving past where the encounter base would be, because they could be shot because they are just too tall. And Legion, with the crossfire position that they had ample time to just pre-aim, wait for them to drive by where they were going to shoot. And that is how Kraken just lost a lot of HP just going over that place. So a little less than a minute left to go before we go into the second match of this matchup, and we see Kraken has now readied up in a very different lineup with two 113s, a Sherry, two E5s, a Jaeger and an E3. So still some big guns, but a lot more mobility and overall more all-round tanks. And with half a minute left to go, they're going to go up against, let's see, a 268 4-mile. Seriously, dudes, take it seriously, will you? Of course, we have seen stuff like this before, but this is kind of bad. 1 268, 5 mice, and an E100. 13 seconds left to go. Dakidos, no, it's going back to an E100. Aggie might be changing things very quickly as well. No, he's sticking to the mouse. So we have 4 mice, 2 E100s, and a 268. Guys, at this point, this is mean. And it might not work, so you have to be careful there. But let's see how this will go. All them mice, oh my god. Yeah, that sounds about right. And here we go, look at this. 20k XP, that is a 4k advantage in Legion's favor, HP boys. That's just nuts. But there's a lot of speed advantage in Kraken's favor. So have to be careful with that. We have NG going at the back, the rest of the mice heading towards base C, and the E100s and the Object 268. Base B now being capped, and they will kind of have to avoid base C getting capped. Obsidian Fury has been spotted. He is using the fountain. He is taking a hit, just crossing over there. We hear big guns being discharged, but no damage having been done yet. Obsidian Fury in a tricky position. And we have Don Vano appearing at the back there, taking a big hit from the E3. But he's not going to make it much longer. And Legion is going to have an advantage, if not a base advantage, because base A is now also being capped. And there goes Captain Kraken in the A5. The mice are still alive. Object 3 arriving. There goes Obsidian Fury. Whoopsie taking him out. Radical's not looking too healthy at this stage. The 113. Basically, Legion is just bullying their way into this battle. Whoopsie taking out... No, it's Aggie that takes Shogun out. And they are just going straight on in. But they are taking the smart route where it makes it a lot harder for Kraken to hit them. HP wise, they still have like double the HP that Kraken has. And we see the French Baguette wanting to get some shots in. There is some action in the middle, but I'm going to focus on French Baguette here. Big hit, Don Vano is still alive. The mice are coming in. They're going to ram this poor guy to death. And he can't even get the shot in now. And it will probably be Don Valo that takes him out, judging by the reload time. There we go. There, oh, there goes Manga. And now we have one missile hit that we just saw there. And adamantly running off. They have 2 bases. If they are very, very careful, they could potentially... Oof, that is a big hit to take though. Ooh, that is a big hit to take as well. But it cost him dearly. And base A is now being stolen. That is a big gun hit. Dakuda's arriving. He might not survive it, but there we have NG in the middle. And Adamantly is lost. Ooh, that didn't hit either of them. And Adamantly now has 8 HP left. As he drives away and might survive a little bit longer. But he's definitely not going to win this. Radicals arriving at base B. Adamantly not driving into the other aim. And still, both of them survive. But now basically Adamantly is stuck. He can't really go anywhere because we have Eggy now arriving. And it's a ram kill, oh my god. And this was basically, you know what happens when you have like, basically an icebreaker, let's call it that. Legion just behaved like an icebreaker here and they just bullied their way through Kraken here. Because lineup wise, I would have given this to Kraken with the mobility and everything, but I don't understand why Kraken did not use that mobility, because Legion just went on in and Kraken sort of let themselves get picked off, so to speak. So that is just sad. It was a fun game though. I mean, if you would have told me that 4 mice, 2 E100s and a 268 would carry this home, and it's actually the 268, the only not so armored tank that died, I would have never have guessed it. So let's see how the rest is doing at this stage. Oh, how is this going? They are still going at it. This is just me having a dry throat by you, so I just need something to drink. I wouldn't say I love games like this, but in a way I do, because it's out of the box thinking. Like I said, at this stage I don't expect very serious gameplay because it's a non-ticketed tournament. But with the groups that we have and the amount of tickets being given away, that means that we will have only one group on Saturday. And that means it's then all the more vital to get the most cups, because even though if you have like a really bad day, you get knocked out early on Saturday, at this stage it's not really that difficult. It's not really that much of a problem. The big advantage you have right now... Ooh, K4A in 20 minutes. The big advantage you have right now, the more relaxed you can do the last several Ascent tournaments. So, like today it's not that vital, because they already have a ticket, but it will be vital later on. So let's see how the rest is. Actually, no, I'm gonna show you a replay. We will go over the rest later on. Let's see, what do I want to show you? I have so many replays. Just need to decide what I want to show you. Actually, no, I do know what I want to show you. I want to show you this tank. Soul in the Machine, Venus. Oh god, just look at this. How can you not want... Well, okay, no, I understand why a lot of people don't want this. It's a tank that will not fit a lot of people. But if you like heaviums, and I'm talking like old E5 or the E6 or some stuff like that, this is definitely the a tank that you should want, and I utterly adore it. That is the downside of having a press account. You know exactly what you want, but you can't have. And it's just, it's there. You are driving into a wall there, hun. Let's see. IS-8 there. AMX actually in a really good position. He's not really in a good position here. That poor Ooh. And then he bounds on a standard B. When you see that much flank of him. It's a very tricky position that he's in, because he's being very, very not careful. He does get a nice shot in there though. But he has to be careful. He's playing it very, very cheekily. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it might not work out well. There you go. That is the standard B out of the way. And here we go. Nice shot in the IS-7. Basically just tanks are sort of like disappearing. Which is a good thing, they have a two gun advantage here. 268, too low a profile to hit. But we have the T-57 Heavy in the IS-8 and the standard B that's going absolutely YOLO here. But it also means that basically... Oh! That is one way to do it. When you have a teammate that does that, you can either decide to let him die or you can use him as gun fodder. And this is not nice because he's actually being pushed into the line of fire. But the T-57 Heavy is actually reloading at this stage, so it's not really that much of a problem. And, oh god, this tank is too gorgeous. We are 4k damage into it. And he is going to take some damage here. So let's see, there we go. His teammate died. That is another... that is another ammo rack. And then we have the standard B. And that is the last one left. And let's see how that will go. And... Oh my god. Seriously? Game is less than 3 minutes. He does 6.4k damage thereabouts. And he gets 3 ammo racks. That is one way to drive this tank. To be fair, it's sort of like a lot of damage sort of being handed to you. But that is a very epic ace in a very lovely tank. Let's actually have a look at the efficiency because that was one shot. This is one shot. 1738 damage in one shot. This is a little bit... This is also one shot. So 1k damage. So basically 2 points... Well, this was less. He did more damage with the regular shots. But still, that is epic. I love it. And like I said, I can't wait to actually have this have that tank. I don't know why I went there. Let's see what time we're restarting again. Let's have a look quickly when the finals are at 36. So we have 60 minutes left. That means that I can show you another replay. And let's see what I have for you. Let's see what this does. 1-1B. One of those tanks again that is just... Oh my god, he does not have the camo on it. The 1-1B has like a black and gold camo. That is mainly the reason that I love the tank. Because it just looks so good. So good. And here we go. Let's see what he does with it. Is he actually spamming the chat for like everyone wanting to meet the enemy there or something? That is... Yeah. That is not really the way to communicate, quite literally. So let's see what he's doing here. The pattern has been spotted. But so far, there you go, you have the E1. Pattern is like, yeah, let's go here, maybe not. And the 1-1B is missed there. So but he has to be, he could show him a much stronger sight rather than getting hit like this. But he stays moving. In this case, he doesn't really need to though. He's being very... Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird way to drive it, but at the same time it is working. And he does take him out. And we have the IS-8 arriving at the scene. There's a gun in the way. But he is capping the base. The IS-8 is steadily being destroyed. And it helps getting a base, basically, because you get the points as well, and that helps with the aces. I personally really love Supremacy. I only drive Supremacy, to be fair. And that has a lot to do with the fact that I feel that it lets me manipulate the battle more. So with matches like these, when you get a base early, it's really helpful. And this was actually, I think he shot the Batchat rather than the M103 here. M103 losing a lot of HP very quickly, but he does take out the E1. And that was a very low roll. In a way, I like that he keeps on moving. I feel that it does not really help him in this match. So that is something that he could be... There you go, the Batchat AP actually takes him out. And they are all behind the building there. And one camper is in the corner. So let's see where he's gonna go. He's gonna go for the grill, which I think is a good call. Because if you can single out an enemy, that generally works. But you have to be careful not to get spotted. And because it's a grill, it's very achievable, but there's a lot of cover in the way. Fuck your mom's team. My mom does not have a team, so we're not sure how she's supposed to do that. But okay. So he's very, very... He needs to get laid. He's not a happy camper. Batchat AP. Dying. It is now 2 versus 3. And he kind of has to be careful. If he can get behind the grill, then all the better. But he's out of HE. Oof, tortoise bouncing. And he's swinging it, but he's lucky with it. I wish the grill would have actually fired, because that would have helped. And he went back forward just a bit too fast there. So let's see. And that is better. 3.7k into it. He has a base, so he gets a lot of points. Which is very helpful. The grill seems to have gone AFK. And we have a lone tortoise coming his way. The mouse is not being appreciated, but this guy has serious issues. So yeah. Let's see. There is a building there, so you have to be careful not to drive into those. It is a pretty tank though. And he has been spotted, so he has to be careful with that. At the same time, he can take a shot and just get behind the tortoise. And then just murder him. Ooh, but now we know where he is. I still wish that someone would just give me a replay with an ace battle. Where they would just... he's actually capping the base. He has the time, to be fair. And there's very little chance he'll lose this, but this will give him more points. Which is generally a good thing, and he's more assured of victory, even if he has to hide somehow. Or somewhere. Lots of corpses here. So let's see, which way did the tortoise go? I don't understand why he's not actually seeking a battle with the tortoise yet, because he could just do that. I mean, he can easily take a shot. But where did the tortoise go? Oh, there you go. And now he's gonna get proxy spotted. Oh my god, you could have just driven in and gotten behind him. There you go. You could potentially finish him in one shot now. Which, points-wise, you really should. There you go. 1k points, 4 kills, 5.4k damage. That's not too bad. Tortoise is not really happy either. But it's nice that he wants to mate with 1-1B. I wonder what kind of babies that will give. 1684 basic speed. He was being a little bit cheeky at the end. The points did help with the ace though. 815 points. I hope you actually submitted this to Darren's competition. Because that could potentially lend you a nice little tank. So basically, now we just have to wait, and we're going to see how the rest of the tournament is going for everyone. Let's see, we know this. And then we have Mercy versus Ukraine F, Ivy versus Ivis. I wonder if that's like related, because you can only have one team in the professional, so most clans have made it a separate thing. Adam versus Demo and EG versus Kola. Well, WW. I still want to stream EG at some point as well, because they've been epic. And of course they went to Twist Cup last year. FBI versus Immorville, going for the battle for 3rd place this time. So against Final. And let's see, then we have Souls and Toxic. They are still... I don't think they're still battling, are they? No, they're up against the Germany. So Souls versus the German Legion. And Toxic versus O3. And then we have BHPP versus APA. W1B versus Immo. Winsk is still waiting for an opponent, which I think will be Raid. Yeah, there we go. This group has not really been, updated. So let's see, in Group 8 is Loka versus, let's see, Whip versus Mate, so Loka versus ANNHM. I think that's the last group we have. Yes. So that is the standing right now. And we just have to wait for the room invite to be up, which should be in a few minutes. So in the meantime, not much else I can tell you really. We just have like the whole stay-at-home competitions. I've already talked about that like multiple times. We have the gravity mode competition starting tomorrow until Sunday. Well, Monday morning, but yeah. And not much else. We've seen some really epic gameplay. We've seen some very troll gameplay. And some nice little replays in between. Basically, we just have to wait for everything before the battles start. Again, if you want to join the gravity mode thing, you have to be on my Discord server. If you join, please be patient, because I will give you a role after the stream. And as we are heading to the finals, I expect that stream to be over in about half an hour tops. I kind of expect it to be over sooner, but half an hour tops. So let's actually have a look at the team that we will be meeting. I mean, just look at this. Epic players. And they are going to go up against a pretty strong team. I, to be fair, have not really heard of K4. And that can be in their favor or against them. But one thing I've noticed, that the clans that you expect to make it to the professionals are generally winning these days. And that has a lot to do with the fact that you can have good stats, which helps with the seeding. Because it is strongest versus weakest. And that means it makes it easier if you have high stats to get further on, because you get the worst enemies first. But that is to keep it fair, because we used to have a time where that did not happen, and it meant that really strong teams would go against really strong teams, and really strong teams would get knocked out very early, whereas teams that would never have made it to the professionals otherwise were going through. So this is the most fair seeding if you want to know who the best of the best is, even though it means that I feel sorry for people that meet like the first match of tonight, or the if last week with the team that had like a 48% win rate average, having to go against Legion straight off. That is painful, but it does mean that the strongest will make it to the professionals. And you see that now as well, because that's the point that I was slowly getting to, slowly but surely. That basically it's the teams now, you see that the teams that are winning these days, and I mean like these days as in these Ascent tournaments, are basically teams you expect to go to the professionals, because they're not just epic in stats, but they're also epic teams. These are players. The players may have changed clans a little bit, but overall, they are epic players. They've been competitive players for literal years. They have a lot of experience with it. And that just makes it very, very epic. And it also makes it a lot more fun to watch. Because in this case, I'm not taking the Thursday tournaments all too seriously. Mainly because of the fact that it's just a bit random stuff. And not too exciting. Because the opponents aren't too strong yet. And I don't mean that in a way... I don't want to speak ill of the opponents that we have seen, because we know the Krakeness is a really good clan. But you see that the synchronization of a team like Legion, like we're following them now today, is just on a whole other level. The focus fire there, the way that they use their cover around them, they even use each other as cover, and the way that works out. Aside from the second match with the donut that they wanted to recover, and that almost going wrong. But them getting away with it. So yeah, that is basically, for these tournaments, that is basically it. I would be very surprised if clans like Legion didn't at least make it to the finals. Again, they will not take it completely serious. We have had teams that have lost matches in this stage. I mean, look at Ville. They're up for the battle for 3rd place right now. But they will have the ticket, so after you have the ticket, you can just basically relax a little bit. You don't need to try all too hard, because it's much more about Saturday and how you do there than it is about how you do today. So with 2.5 minutes left to go, we are going to go to Port Bay, one of my least favorite maps. But we've seen some interesting things happen there, so it could be really fun to see. And we see that K4 has readied up in 3 IS4s, a 268, a 140, a 215B and an STB. So this is basically the old meta with a STB there. The STB is not really a tank that you see often in tournaments, not on maps like this. It can work out really well because it has the gun depression, a little bit of turret armor and everything. If you want to send a medium to the corner, STB would not necessarily be the one that I would pick. But that is up to them. We will see what they will do with it. Little less than 2 minutes left to go now. Legion steadily readying up their team. Whoops taking the sherry. And that could be utterly a disaster for K4, that is. If he goes to the corner with that. At the same time, he is very fast. He could go pretty much anywhere. So, 1 minute, 20 seconds left to go. Tanks are being changed. Lineups are being chosen on Legion's side. We have to be a little bit more patient before we actually go into the battle and see what happens here. Stream is looking healthy. So all of that is going well. 1 minute left to go. And at this stage, I'm kind of wondering whether or not they're going to take this enemy very seriously, because it's the finals, or if they're just gonna like, Tanks are being changed. Dakotas now in the Sherry Whoops in the IS-7. The Radicals also in the IS-7. And we see the 268, a 113, a Mouse, and another 268. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. And I'm very curious where the STB will go and how that will go. Object 140 I think will go to the corner. STB might go elsewhere because of the gun depression. It can work ridge lines better than most mats because of that gun depression. Kiris is saying, let's go Legion, let's go German Legion. And here we go. Countdown clock has begun. There's nothing stuck on your screen for you, just the game. And here we go. Let's see. In the finals of today. Legion versus K4. This is a camo that I don't like it on a lot of tanks. That is actually really nice. Aww. And we have Legion focusing primarily on the A side, looks like, with Dagodas in the Sherry heading towards base C, but the rest of Legion heading towards the harbour. The 268 taking position at the back to brutally murder anyone that is going into their sights, and all of K4 heading towards base C. Dagodas in a position where he can get out. Most of K4 has been spotted now. And he actually lands a shot into the 268 there. Base C being spotted. Lakato moving on. Dagodas running off. Eggy moving into base B to grab that as well. And this is a downside. If you are not overlooking a base, it means you are giving away a base. And we have Bartha Papa. Oof. Oh, he just got murdered. Dagodas getting another shot in and finishing him off after he was getting shot multiple times. We have the 140 going up around the back. But now K4 has already lost the tank, and that can be very costly. Legion spread around the map quite nicely. And we have Bartha Papa now in a precarious position, losing HP. We have the 140 facing off against Dagodas, and NG arriving now. Object 3 is taking hits, having been spotted. But there we go. That is a lot of hits into the Masochista. That's probably now he's not supposed to pronounce it, but that is how it works. That's actually nice. Dagodas offering his apology. But NG barely lost any HP at all. A Masochista can't really go anywhere. Dagoda's missing that shot. The SCB turning around. And now Legion is moving in. And it's actually Whoopsie that takes him out. And now we have the STB landing a shot into Whoopsie, but now he's going to have 2.268 as Sherry and an IS-7 to contend himself with. So that's going to be painful. He does bounce that one though. And we see some shots going into Bartha Papa. And Object 3 is now looking at him. And he's getting shot from front and back. Poor guy is not going to make it. NG has arrived. But it is actually Whoops that takes him out. Base C has almost been capped. We are already at 945 points. And Legion, oof, Aggie actually dies. Bartha Papa getting some nice bounces in. But there goes iCope. And Legion takes it home, leaving 3 alive. One of them relatively healthy. Wow. The difference in damage though, and definitely the difference in points, was very big. And this is like, of course you got, this is like useless because you don't see anything here. But the battle lost just under 3 minutes. And it was a pretty quick match. So let's see, 1 minute and a half left to go before we go into the second match of this matchup, potentially the final match of this evening, depending on whether or not Legion takes it home straight off. And I think this was like K4 was all together and then they sort of like fell apart and allowed them to be picked off. And K4 is now ready in 3 IS4s, a Spaghetti, an E5, a 140 and another Spaghetti. And Legion is still deciding what to take. They have just under a minute now left to go, so that's plenty of time for them to pick a lineup. And we see so far a 268, an E5, an IS7, a Grill, an IS4, a Sherry, and what is Whoopsie taking? Could be anything at this point. He takes an IS4. So somewhat different lineup. The 268, one of them has gone and has been replaced by a Grill. And let's see. Less than half a minute left to go before we go into the second match on Port Bay. Different spawns, so different positions. I think that's also why we see a Grill. Because I think the Grill does better on this side than it does on the other side. Davidas unreadying, 10 seconds left to go. And he goes for an E100 instead. So no fast tanks, 4 seconds. No, Aggie decides to keep the IS7. Which is probably a good call, because if you miss the game, yes, it would be 6 Legion versus 7 K4s, but still. You don't want to miss out on the battles here. So let's see, we see some Clone Wars. Pink camo, best camo. Not if you talk to Ollie, because he prefers bolt carrier that we saw the replay of earlier. He prefers the cat camo on every single tank. So let's see what they're gonna do. We have the IS4 and the IS7. Legion is pretty much splitting up a little bit, but heading more towards the middle and base A. And we see K4 now going straight on in towards base A. And they're gonna be contending with Eggy at the back, covered by Object 3. And we see the first shot going into Object 3, into the IS4 and Gideon there. Radical's not looking too healthy already, losing some HP as he is driving back now into safety, not getting base B. And Radical's losing more HP. He's in a very tricky position there. Basically getting sadly murdered by everyone. And one of the Spaghettis has made it here. Oh, that double tap. He is gone. That is just like, yeah, you should Radicals, we shoot you. And he needs to be careful. And at this stage he can just hold. Base C is now being kept. Don Vano holding it. Yes, the donut is what does it all. Spaghetti Oof, that shot missed. And at this stage, they don't really need to get the base. They can just basically troll cap and force Spaghetti out. The 215B is being murdered. Don Vano keeps troll capping. But basically, with base C being taken, they can't really do much else. K4 is now attempting to get base A. But there's a grill at the back there. The only thing is that not over yet has not been spotted. And Angie missed that shot. He did not hit Alex. And they are not seeing Alex now getting... There you go, not over yet. Ooh, that was a nice bounce. Object 3 immediately getting hit a lot once he got spotted. And now, even though Legion still has a point advantage, as long if they don't get a base, they will not keep it. Don Vano losing some HP. Facing off against the Spaghetti. But now Bartha Papa is making his way there as well, and Don Vano might be in trouble. He kind of has to make sure every shot counts, and he kind of has to survive. Ooh, that bounce though. Don Vano not looking too healthy, and this game is actually steadily starting to work out in K4's advantage. And there goes Don Vano, and we are going to go over here to see what is happening. Gideon not looking too healthy, Whoops arriving, and Gideon barely, just still alive though. That works. Nice little ram kill by Dakudas there. And Object 3 has been taken out. Gun-wise, it's not looking too good for Legion. They do have a gun more though, and we have Whoopsie here shielding Eggy. But he still gets a shot in. There goes Radicals. Having survived a lot longer than we thought. Dakudas takes out Alex. It is 4 versus 3. And now the IS-4 has fired, so that leaves him into Eggy's mercy, and Eggy takes him out. Dakudas moving towards base B, getting a big hit into Bartha Papa there. And we have iCope versus NG, who takes him out ruthlessly. And now we have Bartha Papa, the last one alive, in the Christmas sweater camo. Still alive. But at this stage, with base, with the points being as they are, the HP being as they are, I kind of think he wants to ram him to death. But he's not doing that. Oh my god! They drowned themselves! Dudes, honestly. And there we go. Basically, Dakudas is the only one left now. He kind of has to survive. At this stage, he shouldn't be playing around anymore. But he takes him out with a casual shot. And that was just seriously Angie. Whoopsie Aggie. Oh, you guys. Weirdos. Overall though, quick games. Well, this one was lasted a lot longer than it should have, mainly because they were waiting for people to drown themselves. But Legion has taken home this victory. And let's see how the other groups are doing. So we now have Legion and K4 second place. Then we have Kraken third and Lager fourth. We have Mercy here. That is still going. Of course, it's only been 11 minutes since this round started. EG taking it home versus WW. Alum taking it home versus Demo. Let's see. FBI still going. Veil, which is being streamed right now. Oh, it was being streamed by Brian. They took it home versus Final, so they are third. And Final is fourth. And then we have Souls. They are still going versus the German Legion. Toxic. Let's see. Yes, it would help if you load it. Yes, Toxic took it home third place. BHBP lost to APA. And let's see what happened here. Whip took it home against Immol, one of the Immol teams. Raid and Winsk, that would have been a match to see as well. That is still going. And Raid, of course, will be streamed later on by R1B, RIP. But he's not streaming the Ascent Tournaments. Zen is taking it home against 7CD. And let's see, last group. Loka took it home. First place, and we have another Whip here. And they took it home. Whip is doing good. Let's see if we see any names. We see some from Imo there. And some names from, I think, oh, what's the clan called again? I can't remember, I can't brain anymore. My apologies. So that is the current standing. Yeah, so that's it for me for now. I will be seeing you guys again on Saturday for the ticketed tournament for Asia server, EU server and an A server. So I hope to see you then. And firstborn commenting on the match. That is it for me for now. Like I said, there's a lot of competitions going on and some more competitions starting tomorrow. Join the Discord server, I will keep you updated, and I will be start handing out rules soon once this stream has ended. And that is it for me tonight. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the games. It's been it was troll, let's put it that way. And praise be to the donuts. Good night.